Welcome to Surfside Stories. You know, every week we come out with something big, something good. But today we went beyond big. We went beyond good. We've got the master of beach music and the stage, 19-time male vocalist, sitting right here in the studio with us. I can't tell you, Craig, how proud I am to have you here. Mr. Craig Woolard.
Well, thank you. And Wayne, I just got to say, man, I'm so pleased to be here given your track record just over the past year. It's amazing.
Thank you, brother. I tell you what, it's working together like this is what keeps beach music growing,
Yeah.
and we're loving it. Listen, I think everybody knows who you are now. Everybody knows Craig Lord, but you know what we don't know?
What's that?
We don't know the first time you ever sang a song. We don't know the first time that you ever played an instrument. We want to know, how did you get into beach music? First of all, how did you get into music? Was it school, church, whatever? You tell the story. You start at the beginning and you take it where you want it to go. 'Cause that's what we want to hear, brother.
I hope this doesn't take a long time. If it does, just stop me.
But
Because I grew up in Washington, North Carolina, on the banks of the Pamlico River, and we had a great band program. And our band director was a guy named Jimmy Larkin, and he was just really good. The 2 years before I joined the junior band, I think Mr. Larkin took the high school band up to Washington, D.C. to play for the inauguration of President Kennedy. So that it was a good band.
wow, that's good.
And so I went into the band playing clarinet and told my daddy I need a saxophone because carrying this clarinet around, it looks like a purse. I didn't want to be seen carrying it. Anyway,
Okay.
he bought me a saxophone, and eventually we got a combo together. Or I was allowed to join a combo.
This high school, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so that's what I did. And when I went to try out for the combo, they said, "Do you sing, Craig?" And I said, "Well, I sing in church." And
Okay.
they said, "Well, what can you sing?" And I said, "Well, I like that song, Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter." And they started playing it and asked me to sing. And I started singing, but I didn't realize that it was an octave lower than where I was singing in falsetto. They fell off the bed laughing. And so I didn't sing another lick until I was like a junior or so in
Oh,
high school.
okay.
And then maybe the first song I ever sang was Mustang Sally. I don't know,
Okay.
but still do
That was
it.
a good one.
Still do it. And so I got on the military circuit when I was a senior in high school, and we played and played and played military bases. My last semester of 12th grade, we must have played. I don't even know how, but I know I was always late for school, always late coming back from those gigs. And graduated, went to college for a year. When I got out that year, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I got a job with the band for $150 a week.
Oh, what? Now, where did you take that year at school? Where were you?
I went to Duke University for a year.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sorry, Jim Quick, but when I got on the road with those guys, then I started playing rock and roll and made about $100 for the year. That's when I decided I can't make any money doing this. Got a job on the Holiday Inn band circuit,
Oh, yes.
6 nights a week, 50 weeks a year for 3 years. That's where you learn a work ethic
Now,
right
was
there.
that a single group or a couple?
Yeah, yeah.
Who was the group? Do you remember?
The group was called Next of Kin, and we played a lot in Florence, South Carolina, right down the road.
Okay.
And there was a guy in that band named Doug Strange from Rocky Mountain, and that will become news later in this story.
Okay.
Um, so eventually that band broke up after 3 years, and I joined a band called Pyramid. I took Donnie Weaver's place in Pyramid. Donnie just passed 2 weeks ago. What a talent. He was the original voice on I'm a Girl Watcher for the occasions. So, he had a national hit. We all know what that
I
was.
saw that tribute to him at the CBMAs where they wonderful tribute to him. I've heard so many great things about him.
Yep. Well, this band that I joined to take his place, and I begged him to stay. Let's make it a five-piece band. He wouldn't do it. Contained a bass player named Gerald Davis and his nephew named Tony Davis.
Oh wow!
So
We've already discussed that.
I know, man.
Amongst ourselves today.
so we traveled and played, and everything was good. It was a great band. Oh, it was a good band. And at
Can you
about
back up? How long ago was this that you were playing with Tony and Gerald?
1975.
Oh wow!
No, late
Yeah.
75
Okay.
into most of 76.
Yeah, you've had a long relationship there
Oh,
with
yeah,
that family,
man.
especially
Oh,
with
yeah.
Gerald.
Man, I love the Davis family.
Yeah, absolutely. Good people.
Yes, they are. So Gerald Davis, one of the finest musicians I've ever had the pleasure to work with. I love Gerald Davis. Came to me and he said, "Listen, man, I need some work around home. You know, we're traveling out and I've got kids at home and my wife isn't happy about it. So if I don't get some more work, I'm gonna have to go back to farming." And I knew he didn't do that. I didn't want to do that. I knew
Oh,
he
yeah.
didn't want to go back to farming because he grew up a farmer's child.
Okay.
So we were rehearsing at a place called the Metro Club in Columbia, South Carolina. And the phone rang. I went to get the phone. Hello. And a voice on the other end of the phone said, "Hey, Craig, this is Jackie Gore. Hope you're doing okay. Is this a good time to talk?" And I said, "Well, I'm in the middle of rehearsal, but go ahead." He said, "Well, I want to offer you a job and I want to offer Gerald Davis a job." And I said, "Let me get back to you and announce this."
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, he said, "Okay." And I went back and who was that, Craig? I said, "That was Jackie Gore. He wants to offer me and Gerald a gig." Well, that ended rehearsal right there.
No.
And we talked about it. And me and Gerald, or Gerald and I, decided to take the job because in the Embers were like an institution, man. You know, I grew up in Little Washington, North Carolina, and the Embers Beach Club was right down the road in
Okay.
Atlantic Beach, so that's where we hung. Embers was a big deal. We knew that we'd work and work and work and work, and so we took the job. Durwood Martin, Big John Thompson, and Buck Keener had left the Embers to go start a new band. And that's when they brought me and Gerald and that keyboard player I was telling you about, Doug Strange, rest
Yeah.
his soul, from Rocky Mountain. We joined the Embers. Man, we must have rehearsed every day for 4 to 5 hours a day. I don't know how long we did, but when we played our first gig, flawless.
Dynamite.
Yeah, it was great. And so I've been doing it ever since.
And that was as the Embers in.
Yes.
Okay.
Jackie and Bobby and Johnny Hopkins. And then it was me and Gerald and Doug.
Okay. So how many years have you actually been with the Embers? I know you took a little break there a while and then came back, but you
Yeah,
a lot of years with them, didn't you?
late 76 to 2004. Jackie was gone by then. And the Embers got involved in a record deal with a company up in New York. And they asked me to sign a contract. Now, I'd never had a contract before with the Embers. You know, it's not a problem.
Okay.
So I had my lawyer look at the contract and he said, "This is not to your benefit to sign this." And I said, "Well, I didn't think it was." So I wouldn't sign it. And I knew I was going to be replaced, you know, so, but I just had to go with it. So,
You know, entertainment agreements are very touchy.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's the story of me and in 2004. That's when it happened. I got a letter uh, asking me to. Well, they weren't asking me to do anything. I got a letter from the other partners that said, "We don't want to be partners with you anymore." So from 2004, I had to start my own band. I started the Craig Woolard Band, for
I
anybody
remember
who
that.
remembers that.
I do. I remember that.
And for 10 years, we were doing great. Everything was lovely. And in 2014, the Embers reached back out to me and said, "We would love to have you back in the band." And I said, "Well, I'm doing really well right now." So they had a financial backer, and we went and met in lawyers' offices, hammered it out, and here I am.
You know, it's amazing how things change. I've heard from so many different of the people that we've had the podcast with. They go here, they be band, and then they're back with the band. You find somewhere that's home, and it sounds like it's always a good thing to get back there.
Well, it is, and that's when I rejoined the band in 2014. They were putting together a video, which I'm sure you've seen, um, history of the Embers, and I remember saying, "Well, I guess it's just like Thomas Wolfe said. It's the opposite of what Thomas Wolfe said. You really can go back home."
You can go back home. Well, tell me, I understand there's a show coming up sometime real soon up here. I think it's a Christmas show, and I think it's going to be right up the street up here at Greg Rolls Theater.
Yeah, man. It's we went in there to take some pictures for the show last time we were in town. What a great
Great venue.
venue that is. It's just great.
Greg has done a great job with that.
He really has.
Really.
And so all December we do a Christmas show. We have a couple of private gigs, but most of it is Christmas shows. We put together a 90 to 110-minute Christmas show that what I try to do.
So that'll be your road show for December then.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
If you remember the Andy Williams Theater, Andy Williams Christmas show, what we try to do is do for our audiences what the Andy Williams Christmas special used to do for me. It was just lighting up that Christmas in my heart, man, and coming from a small town. So really, you can actually think of the Embers Christmas show as a poor man's Andy Williams Christmas show, and you need to come see it.
Oh, that sounds really good. Now, a while ago, we were sitting over here, and you happened to notice something, beach music trivia. You said you had a story to share. Can you share a story with us about beach music trivia?
Yep, a friend of mine created beach music trivia, a box game, a game in a box. So, and it's probably so out of date right now with nothing because it was way back when. I think it was in the early 2000s. And he said, I want to ask you and Bobby and all the Embers to come and do a video commercial for beach music trivia. So we said, yeah, three of us, me and Bobby and I think Gerald and Johnny Hopkins, maybe it was four of us. We got there, and the late great Butch Metcalf was the MC of the commercial.
Okay.
And Butch, at one point, right before we started, he said, "Man, I'm kind of nervous." If you can imagine Butch Metcalf being nervous, rest his soul. And said, "What do y'all do when you're nervous?" And Johnny Hopkins, without batting an eye, said, "Well, you're there behind the podium. Why don't you take your pants off? Nobody will ever know, but you'll know, and you won't be nervous anymore." And so that's what happened. If you can search out that commercial on YouTube, then you can look at it and know what's really going on.
Well, behind the podium.
That's right.
Oh, that's great. What else do you know that maybe our people would like to hear?
I know that this past year you have had extraordinary success with. I can't believe it.
Well, I appreciate it. But you know what? I couldn't have done it without guys like you, the people that have set the whole tone for the beach music market for years. I mean, y'all have kept it alive here. You just, y'all have gave me something to work with. You gave me something to have fun with. You have done such great music, and I love to listen to it. Say, okay, what's good? What go with what that song that Craig did? What go with that song that Jackie did? And it's when you hear something, if you love music like we do, and if you love beach music like we do, life is good when you can do that.
And that's how you must approach it as a lover and liver of the music. Because I mean, I'm just astounded at the success that you have had this past year. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Tell me something. To you, what is beach music? Give me your description of it. And you've done it as much as anybody I know.
Well, I knew you'd ask that question.
Okay.
When I was growing up in the mid to late 60s, beach music was what the guys who were older than me and the guys in the band called music by Willie T and the Drifters and the Platters and the Intruders. That was beach music. So if you're going to be in a band and play in Eastern North Carolina, you had to know some beach music. And if you knew songs by those artists, you were doing great. Now, beach music, that's what it was to me. That's what I grew up thinking. But as I have gotten older and found out more, I now realize that beach music started down here at North Myrtle Beach and Wilmington and other places in South Carolina on the coast, where I have been told, and I believe it to be true, that when the Caucasian kids came to the beach for the summer, they would hang out, and there were always these little pavilions with jukeboxes, and that you could only hear certain songs on these jukeboxes because they were too risque for the radio. Except for one radio station.
Yeah, I've heard that part of the story.
Oh, yeah, that's what I hear.
That's interesting.
And you'll really like this. A friend of mine in Raleigh, North Carolina, his name is Doug Pierce. He's a very successful food broker. Doug's dad owned a radio station in Darlington, South Carolina, WDAR. And they were like one of the voices of NASCAR because the Darlington Speedway.
Love that circuit there.
And there was a show on the weekends. Now, here are the DJs that he had. He had Doug Pierce, but he had Billy Smith.
Okay.
He had Tom Stanley, and he had Woody from Columbia.
That's a good lot of DJs have on one station, isn't it? That's phenomenal.
I mean, and it's like from there, it spread everywhere. So they would go down. Doug told me they would go down to the beach. They're close enough to come here to North Myrtle Beach and go in there and check out the jukeboxes, write down the names of the songs, and then they would try to track down the records. And so WDAR was playing the records that you had to go to the beach to hear, but now they're coming on the radio. So
they were the pioneers in bringing beach music to the radio.
And that's not well known. But Doug told me this, and I have verified it, that it's true. It's unbelievable.
That's a great story. You know, we all just assume that it happened without knowing how. Oh, I love that. Where do you do most of your recording? What do you have a certain studio that you really like? Or?
Well, the Embers, we always recorded. I think when I joined the band, we were recording a little bit in Bailey, North Carolina, at Mega Sound Studios. And then we went to Arthur Smith Studios. No, we went to Reflection Studio first, and then we went to Arthur's place.
Yes.
And that's where we recorded our albums.
They were down the same end of town, pretty much, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And trying to think, Arthur Smith Studios, we would play a gig, and then we'd go to Charlotte to be in the studio. It was a wonderful time, man. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And that was back in the days when you had to have some money to go into the studio.
Yes.
There were no laptop computers. there were big, giant tape recorders and mixing consoles.
Yep.
And an album was an expensive proposition.
It was.
And then we hired a string arranger and a horn arranger. And I think that was the guy who did some of the work for the Sonny Turner Platters.
Okay.
You know, Watch the Shore and With This Ring. Duke Hall. He wrote out the arrangements.
Two
And
great songs.
oh
Two
yeah,
great songs.
absolutely.
Two classics.
So I have to hand it to Jackie and Bobby for having the foresight to record our stuff as well as it could be recorded. So it didn't sound like something coming out of a garage. It sounded like beach music.
Oh yeah. Somewhere in this room back here, I've got an album that was released by you guys. I forgot. I bit it off of it somewhere. It was signed by everybody on the cover, and I need to find that and make sure I've got your signature correct or get the new signature.
That's right. You need all of our signatures on there. That would probably make it worth $1 more.
Oh, let me tell you, and this is why I've been so excited about getting you in the studio. You have not just only a great history, you're an icon. As a person, the Embers are an icon.
Yes, I'll agree
As
with
a
that.
person. But you're the icon out front.
Well,
You carry the show, and that can't be easy to do it as often as you. Of course, I guess it becomes habitual, but you carry the show.
if the crowd is with us, it's easy. It's
Now
just
explain
easy.
that to me.
Well, sometimes the crowd isn't ready. So, but it doesn't matter. You still have to go up there and
Show must go
perform.
on.
That's right. So they don't want to see you up there all down in the face or anything like that. Why aren't y'all ready to go? You just have to do what you do better than you normally do and invite them to come and party with you.
Before you go on the show, what do you do with your energy level?
I drink coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I drink coffee, and I try to stop thinking because I don't want what we do to be thought of as pre-planned or anything else. We've got to play the same songs, you know.
Yeah, but you can
Um,
intro them different. I've noticed you doing that before. I did not realize that was a reaction that was not, you can't say planned because it was arranged. It's an arranged reaction, not a planned reaction.
right, right. So that's what we do, you know, in hopes and full expectation, I might add, that the crowd is going to join us. And I call it waiting till the crowd catches fire. And you
Okay.
can tell when the crowd catches fire, then it's time to go.
I love that. Wait until the crowd catches fire. I love that. Well, tell me this. Who is you play with a lot of different people. A lot. Who do you think is the best band member that you have ever really loved playing with? Who's number one in your heart?
Well, I'd have to say Gerald Davis.
I can understand why. I can,
You know,
I can see that.
we had the history, and man, nobody realizes when Gerald Davis left here, he went to California, and Donnie Weaver of the
Yep.
Occasions in Pyramid came to California, and Donnie had a whole wealth of original material. It's great, and they hooked up with Marvin Gaye's production team. Maybe because they came out and heard the band, maybe because Gerald had worked with Al Wilson, who did Show and Tell, and had worked with Sammy Hagar, who was in Van Halen, you know, and so many people out there, and they did an entire album at A&M Studios. This had to be big money. And then it came time to release the album, and that's where the business came in. And I don't know, so don't take this as fact.
Yeah.
But I hear that Marvin Gaye's production team wanted to discuss the royalties, and they wanted more than Donnie, who was the songwriter,
Yes.
was willing to give them.
Oh, okay.
And so they said, well, no problem. We enjoy working with you. And they put that tape on the shelf, and there it sat.
Okay. I bet there was some great music in that one.
There was. I've got a copy of 3 or 4 of the songs, and I played them on the radio when Donnie died.
Okay.
And that was just
Yeah. I
3
wish
weeks
I'd
ago.
heard that particular show. But by the way, Gerald and a couple weeks ago when I was at Topsail Island, went up to hear the group there all weekend, all of them at the Topsail. And Gerald was up there. Got to spend a good bit of time with him, and he'll be coming on the show later. We've already discussed getting him in for a podcast. Now I've got a lot more questions I can ask
Yes,
him.
you do. Yes, you do.
Thank that. And Gerald's a fine gentleman. Behind Gerald, where else should go? Who do you else stands out in your mind?
Well, I mean, all the guys in
But
the
you played a lot of great guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
a lot of.
And so, guys who have been in the Embers, just let me say that when I heard Big John Thompson with the Embers singing "Bow to Bow Down to Bow to Bow Bow," whatever, that the Marcel song. Good gosh, this guy singing. He was there with Jackie Gore, and that's 2 great legendary singers right there.
Absolutely. They both have given a lot to beach music, haven't they?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what. And there's a bunch of us guys who grew up in Eastern North Carolina, and we talk about Jackie and how he sounds almost identical to how he sounded when I joined the Embers.
30, 40, 50 years ago.
And he just keeps going. He's in his 80s, and he sings so well. He's easily one of the best singers I've ever worked with.
I got to ask you this. What, of all the songs, you recorded a lot of songs.
Yes.
What is your favorite out of all the songs? If you could pick one, this is the one that I love the most. What's it going to be?
I would venture to say that the first solo song that I recorded may still be my favorite. And that was on the Forevermore record label, which Jackie was on.
Oh, yes.
And Chris
I know
Beeler.
Chris will.
Yeah, okay. Well, Chris called me up and said, I have a song in mind for you. What is it? And he told me. And I said, it's odd that you would say that because I have had that very song in mind myself. And something had happened with an Embers recording, and I wasn't happy. And so I said, Chris, normally I would say no because I don't want to do anything outside the band. But this is your lucky day and my lucky day because I'm going to say yes. And so I recorded "Love Don't Come No Stronger Than Yours or Mine." I recorded that in 2001, and it won Record of the Year 2002. So that has a special place in my heart.
Tell me about that song that you did for the General Johnson album.
Oh well, that was part of Chris's Forevermore Records.
That's what reminded me that I knew that y'all worked together on that one also.
Yeah. He said, well, I've got this song, Craig. That was my Chris Beeler impression.
That was good. That was good.
I've got this album I'm doing, and he said it's a tribute to General Johnson. Well, look, man, I loved General Johnson. I loved Danny Woods. Those guys were big influences on me. I have seldom seen anyone grab a crowd of thousands of people and let them go when he wanted to, but that's what General Johnson was able to do.
And he was good at that. By the way, you did a great job with that. The CBMA's great job with that song. I'm very impressed with Wayne Free on the drums. I've already done
man.
I did not know Wayne until I met him. He come and did the podcast. Fantastic guy.
Yes, he is.
He and Rita.
Formerly of the Swinging Medallions.
Yeah, I did not know that. We brought this out in the thing. I did not know that previously.
Yep.
But he's very talented.
He really is.
He his job on the drums on that song. That's not easy.
He wears it out.
He does. That's not an easy song for drums, and he does. But you know who really wore it out? You did out front.
Well, look, man, I modeled General Johnson because I watched him coming out when the chairman of the board would play. They would do 39, 21, 40 shape. And at the end of it, all the other bands on the circuit would go into Hey Baby.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't good enough for General. He had to write a special song that had Hey Baby in it. And I watched that crowd, man, go crazy during that song. But nobody really remembered
It's all
the
good
song.
alive.
Yeah. But so when Chris called me, I said, well, I think I'd like to do Pretty Women Everywhere, Hey Baby, by General Johnson, chairman of the board. So that's what we did. And
Great choice.
it was, man, it was because it's heartfelt.
Well, it fits the album. It fits your voice. It fits your style. Which I'm not sure I've seen anything that doesn't fit your style or your voice, to be honest. I mean, I think you can sing anything. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But you can play it. You can do the phone book, as they say. You can. This has been fun, but you realize that we are already sitting on the 30-minute mark.
Wow.
I mean, we're about a minute and a half away from it. So I'd just like to take a minute, wrap up. What last minute story would you like people to know about Craig Woolard? Something they aren't going to know. And I know it's a tough question to throw on you right then here.
Yep, it is. I'm gonna have to think a minute. I will say that joining the Embers in 1976 changed the course of my life and gave me a great opportunity to do what I do and make a living and raise a family and send 2 kids to college. So thank you, Jackie and Bobby, for giving me that opportunity. I would also like to say that meeting my wife, Debbie, she was just a beautiful girl, man. And look what she's grown into. It's a job she probably wishes she didn't have, but she takes care of a lot of my business. She's great.
Yeah, I have worked with her in setting up this podcast, and she has been wonderful to work
She
with.
really is.
Very professional, very much. It's been a pleasure working with her.
Yes.
It really has. But thank you so much for being here today. It has been wonderful. I can't wait to get this one out for all the folks to hear. But I know this is going to be good. Now, folks, you can go on to Spotify. You can listen to it while you drive it. You can go into YouTube and you can watch it. Or you can now go on to Beach Music TV and you can watch it, the live channel that's on Roku. So lots of ways you can pick this up. And this one today was one of my best friends, one of the guys that I love, have admired since the day I ever started listening to beach music. It's such an honor. Thank you again for being here today.
It's my honor to be here with you, Wayne. And just let me say that if you get a chance, check out Farewell, My Summer Love. It's a song that my son, Craig Michael Woolard, sang. I produced it. It was on the last Craig Woolard Band album, and it's worth your time to listen to it because he's really, really got a real good voice.
Okay, tell me the name again. Now make sure
Farewell.
they know the Farewell.
Farewell, My Summer Love. It's a Michael Jackson song.
Okay.
And he just sings the song. He sings it well enough that Jackie Gore this weekend said to me, "Is your boy still singing? We need to get that boy singing."
Well, I will definitely make a point. We'll put that in some of the things that we put out because I'd love to. I'll be listening to it just a little bit here.
Good. Well, also that rings another bell.
Okay, go.
You need to check out the song on my last Craig Woolard Band album. It's called Main Street. The name of the song is Color Away, and it was written by one of the Jeffords brothers from right here in North Myrtle Beach. And it's just a great song about a kid coloring and how the world looks through her eyes. And at the very end of it, you get to hear my little girl, Carly Woolard, say, I said, "Carly, that's so good." And she said, "Thank you, Daddy. I love you." I get a little chill even talking about it. So check that out.
Chill just thinking that. I do. Folks, once again, a wonderful day with an absolutely wonderful entertainer. You'll be seeing a lot more of him, and you'll be seeing, gosh, we may have to do this again.
I'd love to.
We got to, uh, don't forget, next week, Surfside Stories. Now go to surfsidestories.com and you can get the links to all these places. If you have questions, you can find me, you can call me, you can text me. If you can't get me, find Craig Woolard. He's got all the answers now.
And remember, if it's got Wayne Troutman's name on it, you probably need to be listening to it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Next week, Surfside Stories.